Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday night Principal Chiro broadcast sponsored by DE and Band of Brothers. Um, just before we get, DE is October 21st through 24th. If you haven't signed up, haven't gotten registered, do so. It's at the Marriott there in Marietta. Um, there you go. And just to go to www.lifede.com. Get your hotels, get ready to rock. The world needs us to be the best us we can be. DE's been going on for 57 years now, and the next generation is upon us. And tonight we got one of the leaders of the next generation from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We got Alex Rubin. I met Alex when he was a student, and he and his crew were just so fired up for chiropractic. And every time I'd see him, just fired up, and he's just energy. He was awesome. And now he's 2 years in practice, and he's not like a lot of people who come when they're students. He's kept coming. He's been there, and he's just he's just been a beacon of light for Philadelphia and the East Coast. And I'm just going to let him tell his story. So let's hear it for Alex.
Good. What's going on? Every six or 7 years ago now, when I was a student, maybe second or third quarter, I went with some of my best friends in chiropractic still to this day. Dr. Joe Bretsky, Dr. Evan Sidoti, Dr. Tracer Moore, and I think my first D, it was kind of a little bit interesting. I saw the hugging, saw the love, a lot of energy. I liked it, but I didn't really get it. Didn't understand it. Didn't really know anybody. Showed up and kept showing up. Each time a little bit more seeped in. It really changed the way that I wanted to practice, because going into chiropractic school, I had this vision in my head for how I wanted to do things. I wanted to do e-stim. I wanted to have whatever that little rolling massage table was. I wanted to bill insurance for all kinds of money and, get people out of pain instead of serving them with love. And really, that entirely changed. I'm so thankful for all of you that are in here, all of my mentors from, the area throughout school. I think that as a student, it was really, really important fundamentally to really just get involved in as much stuff as I could once I started to get immersed within the DE principle. And my friends and I, we shadowed every single office that we could in the area. Principaled offices, non-principaled office, and you could really feel a difference in the energy between the spaces. Really resonated with some great mentors in student clinic. I had Dr. Paul Blumsack, made sure that my, guide during this time of learning how to adjust and learning how to care for people was somebody that was coming filled with principle and love with each adjustment. But pretty much as a student, as we progressed through everything, we got involved with a lot of stuff. Band of Brothers meetings, be there with, Wace and Dr. Blumsack and Drew Henderson, Pat McCarver and Brian Lieberman and Dan Tu, Dr. Tim Langley. Love that man. Miss that man a lot. Huge influence in my life and my chiropractic career. Really just absolutely love pouring into students, like more than anything else. Not just me, my friends, the generations of chiropractors before me. He told you to get to Band of Brothers, you went to Band of Brothers. He told you to go to D, you're at D. He told you to go to Toastmasters, you ended up Toastmasters. He told you could have all the chips and salsa on him unlimited afterwards. You'd show up there too to get a little bit more principle. He also taught me a lot about membership chiropractic, which is sort of where I find myself now with everything. And, think about something Steve Judson had talked about as a student with fees in regards to, charging too much or charging too little, and whatever it is, it's find an area that you like, pick a fair price for that area, charge it, take care of the people, and really serve. And that was big. It was really, really big. So as I went through school, again, I wouldn't have been able to do it without my friends, my group of individuals that pretty much all went to DE. If you didn't go to DE, you probably weren't one of my close friends. There's just something different about it. We always tried to rally the rest of the students, make sure we got them there. Something else that was really big was I think we weren't able to get D Club on campus right away, so then we reformed the Upper Cervical Student Society to get a bunch of the principal chiropractors to be able to come speak on campus to the students, which was also another great opportunity for one-on-one sessions. Going to the GCC events. I think one time Dr. Joe Bretsky and I even volunteered to drive Rob Schiffman and his wife from the airport to a big CE class just so we could spend, an hour with him in the car driving from the airport to the event to pick his brain for any kind of information that would lead to success in chiropractic. Then pretty much after I finished school, throughout school, it was, during my peak, I made sure that my offices that I chose were very, very principled. I went to Singapore. I did peak over there for about 3 months, came back, was with Pat McCarver for about 3 months. Really amazing practice. Learned so much from them. Finished school, graduated in December. I think after that I decided to spend a little bit of money that I had left to go travel, and I decided to backpack for 5 or 6 months. And really that was a pretty eye-opening time. And even though it was sad because I wasn't able to attend DE during this time, it was really cool because I was already so filled with principle after spending 3 years of coming to DE during school. So I would set up in, wherever I was at, in the hostel, get a chair, get the side of a couch, whatever it is, adjust people, give them principle, help change people's lives, keep the power turned on. And it was really amazing. So even though I was doing that, I also had an opportunity to continue pursuing chiropractic and my passion, keep my hands good, which was really, really important. I think after I came back from doing a little bit of my traveling, I came back because my sister wanted me to go to a wedding with her. So I went to this wedding with her. Got a call the morning after the wedding from Joel Hund, and basically was asked, is there any way I could cover the office for them down in Colombia? Because the doc in South Africa typically would cover was not able to because they had changed some of the visa requirements. So I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm not working yet. I'm still waiting on my license here for Pennsylvania. Let's do it. When do you need me there? He's like, can you be here in 2 days? So they bought me a plane ticket, set me up with a place to stay, and I was down there working at an office, doing principled chiropractics, dealing with 100% Spanish-speaking patients, 2 days later. And really incredible opportunity to learn and see and grow and really have my first experiences in practice outside of school. And it was really amazing. It was eye-opening too. I'm always told make mistakes on the other doctor's dime or whatever it is. I learned a lot. I messed up a lot, but kept growing and took every single opportunity to continue improving, not only as an individual but as a chiropractor. So then I was traveling back and forth. I did some coverage work for them in Colombia. I kept doing that. And in the middle of one of my coverage work trips down in Colombia, in Bogota, I went with my sister and my grandmother on a 2-week vacation to Mexico. Yeah, it was Cabo, Brian, not Cancun. But while we were in Cabo, it was really amazing. I remember my dad saying to me and my mom saying to me, this might be one of the only opportunities you have to go spend this vacation with your grandmother. You should go spend these 2 weeks with her, really enjoy what's going on. And during this trip, it was really cool because, my grandmother had taught me so much. I call her Bubby, or I called her Bubby. Amazing woman, had her mirror covered like a vision board, with everything that she wanted to achieve and accomplish in life. She was a master manifester. She was very big on teaching the secret to attract everything that you want in life, treat people well, give out of your own abundance, let the universe provide that back into you. And during this trip, I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I knew my chiropractic license should have been coming in a couple more weeks after a long 9-month process, but I knew it was supposed to be finally come in. I could go back down into Colombia and work for a little bit longer. I could come back into the States and, open up my practice, but where? And having this conversation with my sister and my Bubby, my parents were really pressuring me hard. They wanted me to open up in the suburbs where I grew up originally, but I didn't know if I necessarily wanted to be put into the middle of the same area that I grew up in. I wanted something a little bit different. I was kind of used to the city at this point based off of where I'd lived throughout school and everything like that. And my sister said, you got to come to Northern Liberties. You need to come to Northern Liberties. This is the spot. There's no chiropractors here yet. I've got all these friends that are asking me for a chiropractor, and there's nobody around. So thinking this in my brain, I asked my grandma, I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, I really think that Northern Liberties is the spot. It's probably the area that you should go to. It seems right. You know, she had bought a house there, many, many years before that. My sister bought that house from my grandmother. And so my sister had now been living there 3 or 4 years. And again, also learned how to manifest from my grandma, knew what it was. And after the trip, it was amazing, an amazing experience. We did all the activities. We did everything that we possibly could. Really got to have a great time with my grandmother. Got her adjusted during the trip. Got to have some really fun times and make some amazing memories. And then after that, I actually left Mexico with them, and I went back down to Colombia. I did get my license 2 days later. I decided to go down to Colombia again, hang out, see what my boss had to say. And when I was down there, I started adjusting everybody again. And down there for a bit. The deal was kind of, we'll come down. If I like it, I can stay. I'll work out a contract. If not, I can always go back home. I gave it a shot. I was there probably for another, 7, 8 months, hanging out, taking care of a lot of people. We grew the space significantly. Then we decided to move the practice to a whole nother area, which was a whole nother experience in and of itself. Was regrowing the practice, 5 miles away from where we were at in an incredibly traffic city for what was going on. So, day one, you get, 5 adjustments instead of the 50 that you had. But, again, it was a lot of time to be able to think and put in the work, and not just, physically keep your hands good, but also like mentally, and what it is that you have to do in order to get more people back into the office. So, it was honestly one of the best experiences, I think, being in this new space, especially after going into practice, not too many months after that, because it really allowed me to sort of see the groundwork that needed to be laid in order to place your stake in the community, in order to take care of the people the way that you want, and in order to grow and continue to grow with what it is that you're doing. So then while I was working in Colombia, I got a call at one point about Dr. Tim passing away, which literally broke me in half. It was, again, one of my biggest mentors in school, best chiropractor this side east of the Mississippi. And I remember crying in front of my office, getting ready to open for my afternoon shift. And I'm just there in tears, and I've got patients waiting outside, and they're there, and we're hugging each other and loving on each other, and just know that I'm really going through it and working through it, but need to do what it is and keep the memory strong, which is also, I think, another one of the reasons why I decided to go more towards the way that he had practiced. Not charging a ton of money, but taking care of people on a membership plan, renews every month, the way that everything is set up. Then I, keep working, keep taking care of people, keep growing. And then my grandmother passed away, very unfortunately. She was murdered in her home, along with her best friend. She actually went into the house to try and save her best friend from a woman that was there with her son that must have been incredibly subluxated, because unsubluxated individuals just don't do that kind of thing. So it really hit me hard from, the woman I love most in this world. Really taught me so many things. So decided to come back to the States, took care of my family. I knew that I needed to get home to get everybody checked. It's really what it was. All my cousins, my parents, my sister, checking their outlets, keeping their outlets clear, helping them heal, getting myself checked, making sure that I can heal, working through it. And I just go through this for, 3 or 4 weeks. And eventually, I have to make the decision. I go back to Colombia. I say goodbye to all of my patients, which I didn't want to do, pack all my bags, come back to the States, and continue with this process of mourning and healing. And while I'm at home again, I'm starting to get pressure again from, my parents and my family. I'm putting it on myself as well. What do I do next? What's the next step for me? Do I go work for somebody else again? Do I go help build somebody else's practice? I've been doing this for a while. I've been out of school for a bit. Or is it time to just do it on my own? Start taking care of people, doing it my way, doing it with all the things that I've learned throughout school, through all the screenings and shadowing and seeing what I like and what it is that I don't like and how I take care of people and how I communicate and all of the health talks and the lectures and all of this information. And start looking at spaces. And, again, parents were really pressuring me to try and open up in the suburbs, but something I had to sit them down at one point and tell them, this is not where I'm going to be. Me, my sister, my grandmother manifested that we're going to be in Northern Liberties. We're going to be here in Philadelphia. We're going to take care of the people of this community. That's where we're going to end up. And that's where I chose. So started looking for spaces, found 6, 7 spaces, looked at them all. Again, some of my best chiropractic friends came with me to come look at these spaces. Brought my mom in. She had an opinion on some of the spots as well. I called this one place. There was another chiropractor getting ready to move into the neighborhood and open up, a mile away from me, but, or not even a mile, 2 blocks away from me. And I tried calling for another space that was in that area, and they were like, oh, we can't actually rent this space to you because there's another chiropractor going in here, so there's a non-compete. I'm like, you guys have, 2 Mexican restaurants. You can't have 2 chiropractors that are practicing totally differently. So ended up not in that space, found another space, which is beautiful. You guys should check out my business Instagram page, or I'll post a picture in the group later. It's amazing. The building is colorful. It's bright. It's right in the middle of a residential area. It's right on the corner. I've got a park where children play across the street. I've got a dog park right next to that. I see the space. I knew that I wanted, about 1,000 square feet. I wanted nothing in the space. I wanted 3 chiropractic tables. I wanted 2 hands. I wanted a front desk, and that was it. I didn't need anything else. Bathroom. I would have liked an exam room. Didn't have an exam room, so I built sort of fake little half-wall dividers around like where I do my little exams at, and go through all this. Built this space. Put some spines in the windows because I didn't have any signage whatsoever. Even though now I've got a giant sign, I've got this beautiful decals and stuff. And I believe I had called Justin Quayle during this time because I was leaning towards, again, doing more of the membership model of things, and chatted with him for a bit. And I remember him having on his door, he said, walk-in adjustments. I was like, okay, walk-in adjustments. This sounds pretty cool. He's like, yeah, like people love that. And so I put walk-in adjustments on my thing. I buy a little chalkboard. I leave it out on the street. I actually opened up early right after this big festival, where I was going around selling these. We had golden tickets to health that we were selling, doing a consultation and adjustment for like $20 or something like that. Just going around, just trying to get our word out, name out in the community, handing out business cards, kissing babies. And day one, I had one guy call me from Google even though we had 0 Google reviews. He walked over, he sent 2 of his friends in, another guy walked by, someone else came in, and turned day one into 7 new patients, right? Day 2, I think I had 1, maybe. And then I think there was a couple days where I had 0. And then, start to realize that it's not 7 new patients every single day that's coming in. But the thing that was also really, really cool about this space is that it had like a little basement area to it, which is literally like, I'm going to say a basement. It's not a finished basement. It's like a cellar. And I dragged a couch down there and a television and a mini fridge. And I lived in the basement of my chiropractic office for about 6 months. I spent the last little bit of money that I'd had from working on my space. My landlord had me lay out some checks, so I had to have the cash. Then I had to bootstrap using credit cards to open up the rest of the stuff for my office. We did all the renovations and stuff ourselves. We took some piping out. I learned how to lay some brick. We did the drywall, painting, everything. We put this place together in just a few weeks. Turned out amazing. Got a couple tables in there and just kept taking care of the community. And then we started working on building up our Google reviews as a belief that would help, get more people into our space. So we really started working on that, and people started coming in, and then word of mouth spread, and started increasing the prices from, whatever it was, $20 to $40 month 2 and 3, trying to put a little bit more money in my pocket. Started getting a few memberships. I knew that month 1 I needed, I think it was like 15 or 16 members in order to cover my overhead expenses for the space. And we hit just about that. I think we might have been maybe 14 or so. Then month 2, you double that. So that's kind of a nice feeling. Still living in the basement of my office, not enough money for an apartment. Turned out that the space that I had chosen was 1 block away from my sister's house. So then my sister was totally fundamental in the process of building it. She's still my CA and office manager there all the time. Really brought a lot of her friends in, really networked a lot with the gyms and the yoga studios, and just about every person she could possibly talk to about chiropractic, and came into my office on faith, not paying ourselves for 3 or 4 months, just trying to lay the groundwork for the big things that we had to come. And I think that during this time, the thing that was really cool was that I still had the same group of guys that I went to DE with, and we had our 7 o'clock calls every single morning. We'd do our 49 breaths. We'd get together. We'd do our breaths. We'd do some affirmations. We'd chat. We'd talk about our day. I'd come in. I'd have a rough patient. I knew that there was guys that I could call them up and ask them. There was mentors that I were calling up. Renee Acosta. I called a ton of individuals. Everyone trying to borrow their paperwork. My paperwork didn't even have my name on it the first day. It was someone else's paperwork that I'd used before I even got my own stuff printed. And really could not have done it without the training from all of y'all, from everybody at DE, without Dr. Sid Williams, without the principal of chiropractic. And I'm so forever grateful for that. More than words can truly explain. It's given me the life that I have today, with everything that it is. As Andy stated, we've been in practice now for 2 years. 5 months in the business, or 6 months in the business, COVID became a thing. I lost 66% of my business now in 2 weeks. Went from like 150 adjustments down to like 40, sitting in the office, dealing with it myself. But again, it's another test, right? So I know one of the big things that Dee Umber mentioned at last D was a little bit of talk about trials and tribulations. And it wasn't necessarily about what it is that you go through, but how do you react to what it is that you go through? Do you focus on all the bad things that happened? Kind of what Zeus was saying too, wins versus losses, right? We're always going to win more than we lose. And how are we going to turn everything around? How are we going to move everything in the right direction and keep it so we can grow as an individual, as a chiropractor, to serve our people, serve our community, serve God, right? And really put forth in our lives. So going through that, now I think we've got 2 years in practice under our belts. My sister still helping me out. I'm able to take some vacations. I don't think I've missed a DE since I've been in practice now, which is absolutely amazing. I see that Stephanie mentioned something. I did do a Philosophy by the Fire event years ago, like when I was in school as a student. That was actually my first event I really got to speak at. I was really blessed to have been given that opportunity as well. But overall, I mean, these last few years, even though there's been a lot of trials and tribulations, there's been a lot of good. And I believe that that comes down to the mindset of how it is that we react. How are we going to let these things affect us? How are we going to let these things move forward? So even though, Dr. Tim passed and my grandmother passed and COVID was a thing and my parents got divorced and this recent flood just destroyed my dad's house, like there's so many things that you learn. I learned about membership chiropractic. I found the exact space that I wanted. It wasn't by coincidence. It was, designed by God. That's where I was supposed to end up. It's where I was supposed to be. I've quadrupled the size of my practice during COVID. I've, my parents were divorced, but, I had parents my entire life. They didn't have parents that stayed together. So, I'm so blessed for that. The flood destroyed my, dad's house a couple of weeks ago. And you know what? It destroyed like all the things that you used to think were important, your Pokemon cards or your, N64 games from when you were a kid, the things that I used to like, the things that I used to be grateful for. And it makes me realize that I shouldn't really be grateful for those things because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed the opportunity, but like they're only things. It's not the other things that are really, really important, right? The office, the people, the family, the fact that I've got clean water, a roof to sleep under. One of the big things that's really cool is actually on the other side of this wall right here behind me is my office. My apartment is literally attached to my office. And the entire time when I was sleeping in my basement of my office for the first 6 months of practice, I spent every single night visualizing, thinking, manifesting that I wanted to live in this space. Just like Brian Moriarty knowing that he wanted to get a boat or see the sunset and have the house that he has. I manifested that I was going to be in this space. And through a weird series of unfortunate events, my landlord tried giving it to, first it was his son, unfortunately passed away. Then there was his old barber moved into the space for like a month, decided he couldn't be there anymore. Then it was finally offered to me, even though I wanted it from the very beginning. And I ended up right here, and he's never looked back. He's so happy that I'm in this space. I'm able to pay one person my rent for my office plus my practice. I worked out some deals with him as well with that. Hopefully the plan is to buy the building within the next couple of years to really keep everything moving forward. Remember Steve Judson saying that as well at one of the D's as a student. Once you start doing so well, next step is you got to buy the building, or you need to build a brand new space, because it's a great way to save extra money on taxes, or something like that. So hopefully that's the plan within the next couple of years. And I always thought about some of the other things that were taught to me at DE, some of the principles that were given, and that's that even when there's crap that's going on in life, even when you're not happy, when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling down, you got to surf through it, right? Like if I'm sad, if I have a bad day because there's a flood or whatever it is, you know what I can't wait to do? I can't wait to go into my office and like love on my people all day long. Give them hugs. They appreciate me. I appreciate them. I've been seeing some of them now for 2 years. Somehow during COVID again as well, my practice, even though I lost a lot of older individuals with everything, my practice transformed into a pregnancy and pediatric practice, which is, again, something that I always dreamed, more family-esque. These moms started coming in. They started having amazing birthing experiences, got a great midwife. She started referring everybody under the sun, and now I'm taking care of like these newborn babies without a mask on. And the parents trust me enough to do that because they love me and they trust my values and my principle for where I'm at. And if I didn't have the certainty that was provided to me from attending DE and these things, it wouldn't be there. I would be cowering. I can't live in fear. Why would I live in fear when the only person I should fear is God? But at the same time, knowing that he's always on our side, he's always here to make everything happen the way that it needs to happen in order to lead us to the life that we're designed to live, designed to create. So then I think during some of this other stuff here that was going on today, I was really thinking even more about a few other things. I was listening to some podcasts, trying to get inspired, looking at some stuff, flipped through some books. I opened up this blue book, Dr. Sid's Blue Book, which I just got at this last DE, and I opened that up as well. I'm on week 4. I've been trying to do, one of the affirmations each day, just recently started. But there's a quote in here, and I don't know if it was Dr. Sid that wrote all the quotes in here, or if he got it from someone else, but it goes, you can lose a poker game with a full house, and you can win it with a pair of deuces. Winning or losing is not determined by the cards you're dealt in life, but how you play those cards. And I think that was something that was really deep. And it's weird that, again, that's the week that you're on, and that's what you open to. And I wanted to talk about gratitude. And this is the whole thing. I'm so grateful for everything. I've got this attitude of gratitude every single day. I'm so thankful every single day that I wake up. Blessed that I've got Principled Chiropractic, that I've got you guys in my lives to do the things that I love, to help elevate my life even further. And, I'm only so excited to practice for the next 40, 50, 60 years, 70 years old, doing everything that I've been taught here today. Nothing's going to change. The principle lives within me. And so anyway, I was listening to this podcast, and I usually listen to it every few weeks, or every week or so. I'll usually listen on Thursday. So I'm Jewish, and I listen to this rabbi's podcast because it sort of gives you like an intention going into Shabbat each week. He talks about the Torah portion each week and sort of what's happening. And a couple weeks ago, the rabbi talked about blessings, right? And thanks and gratitude. And he said that in the Torah, it said that we should be saying about 100 blessings a day. 100 blessings a day. All right. So what's a blessing, right? It seems like a lot. Am I supposed to be praying 100 times a day? Not necessarily, but we should be more thankful, more aware of the things that we're experiencing in life each day. He said that when you wake up, you need to be thankful. You need to be grateful. That's a blessing, right? Thank God for waking up in the morning. When you go to the bathroom and you leave the bathroom, thank God that your body works, that you're able, to go to the bathroom, that everything works and functions the way that it's supposed to. You get in the shower, you got to thank God that you've got clean water that you can shower with, hot or cold, whatever you prefer. You've got water to drink, you've got food to eat, that I get to go to the office, that I'm not a physical therapist. Not that there's anything wrong with physical therapy. I just don't want to do it personally. And I'm so thankful that I'm a chiropractor and that this is what I fell into in life, something that I love and that I'm so passionate about. So then after going through all these blessings and thinking about everything, I started thinking about my practice. And every single person that comes in is a blessing. I'm so thankful for each person that comes in. That's 50, 60 people a day that's 60 blessings right there. I'm thankful that this person came in. Thank you so much, God, for everything that you've been able to give to me in this opportunity to be able to take care of these people the way that they need to take care of. And I love how Andy introduced me saying that I've been a beacon of light here in Philadelphia. When I'm doing my affirmations, I always manifest, please keep my office a beacon of light for the city, for this neighborhood, for the world. I want everybody to be attracted to it. I want this light to be so bright that people are drawn in because they can feel that it's the place that they need to be. It's the place that they can get the help that they need. It's the place that they can get their life changed. It's the place that they can get connected to the things that it is that they need in life. So then as I'm going through my day today, I start asking my patients what they're grateful for. And, you know, when it first starts out, some of them are joking around with me a little bit. They'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm really grateful for ice cream, or I'm grateful that it's sunny outside. And again, those things are great to be grateful for. I'm not saying don't be thankful for those things. Those things are really thankful. But then I had a call with my chiropractor, you know, he's a great guy, Dr. Justin Brain. I'm going to get him at DE. He popped by one of the events a while back for an MLS seminar. He came for a night, but I'm going to get him to come down to one of these events as well. And he told me about something that his pastor said this past week when he was at church that really stuck with him. And it changed the entire question. It changed the way that people responded to it. And what the pastor had said was that if God only gave you tomorrow what it is that you were grateful for today, how would that change what it is that you're grateful for? Okay? So think about that for a second, right? I can be grateful for ice cream, but I don't care if I have ice cream tomorrow or not. I don't care if I have ice cream for the rest of my life. What am I grateful for? Being a chiropractor, my health, the fact that my arms, my wrists, my shoulders, my health is there. I can work out. I can go for a 10-mile hike. I could go for a 5-mile run without worrying about it. That I've got my parents and the health and the family and the opportunity to go on vacation. I've got this practice in this safe space in a community that's so scared, right? This community is scared of COVID. Philadelphia is like New York. We're getting all the New York transplants are coming to Philly. They think it's safer. It's the same. You know, it might be safer because we're here. Even though there's great chiropractors in New York, I'm having people come in. Some people walk in. Some people walk out because they don't like the way that we're doing things. They don't like the people coming in without a mask. They don't like me not having a mask on. But guess what? It's not about that. It's about the freedom. It's about being able to convey the message for the people. It's about being able to take care of the people the way that they need to be taken care of, right? So after I changed this question of gratitude, asking my last couple of patients, one of them said he was grateful for me, right, for his chiropractor, which is huge, you know, transformed his life, you know. People that are coming in that have had headaches every single day that are gone, people that, you know, had a breech baby and the baby turned and they had an hour and a half labor, you know. I had a woman tell me she was grateful for being born in the United States. Even though the world's getting kind of crazy, she's so blessed that she's here in the United States compared to so many other places with everything, right? For the water that we have to drink, for our families, for our health, for our well-being and abundance that we have, which is also my practice. I don't know if you can see it here on this shirt, but it's Abundant Chiropractic, which I also thought was funny because, again, another one of my mentors, Lucas Matlock, told me that that was actually his LLC name. He's Philly boy originally with everything that goes on. And then always have it here on the arm. Give, love, serve. Right? You always got to take care of people. But I think that the biggest takeaway from today is don't take things for granted. We are blessed to be in this profession. We're blessed to be able to take care of people. Even in times of trials and tribulations, keep in mind that it's not about the trials and tribulations. It's about how you react. And react the right way. All right? Focus on the wins. Don't focus on the one loss. The one person that walked out of your office does not outweigh the 60 people that came in to get their lives changed, that came in to get clear and connected, that came to get physical and spiritual reunited. Brain, body connected, right? So I think on that note, guys, I hope you guys all have an absolutely blessed day. My light just turned off for my plant. You know, let there be light. I'm blessed to have had the opportunity to be able to speak to you guys. You'll never know how thankful I am for you all and for everything that you've done, all the knowledge and information you've poured into me. You guys can always call me, contact me anytime if you ever need anything, if you want to chat, if you're working through some crap, let me know. I'm always here. Call, text, email. You can call me at the business. You can text me at the business, personal, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. I'm here for you all, just like you've always been here for me. And I love you guys because you love the things that I love. I love and appreciate you all. I'll see you soon.
Dude,
How was that, Andy?
drop the mic.
Drop the keys, man.
That was awesome, man. You know,
That's right.
You said you're blessed. We were all blessed to hear that energy, the gratitude. Man, I think everybody that's on this line is probably not going to get much sleep tonight because
That's
you're
right.
and that's all good, man. Long days, sleepless
That's it,
nights
man.
because of you. Because of you.
That's it. I appreciate you, Andy. Thank you so much for the opportunity to do this.
Absolutely. Thank you. You just dropped the freaking mic, man. That was
I,
awesome.
I can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see you in October, and
Give me a
I'm
hug.
gonna make it out. I'm gonna make it out to Kansas City soon. We'll
All
jam.
right. Well,
Maybe we'll have
we
another
got
intensive out that way soon.
we got a band of brothers that will welcome you with big arms. I promise you.
I
Hey,
appreciate that.
everybody out there, take in what he dropped on you, man. I mean, be great attitude of gratitude after what he's been through, losing his mentor, losing his grandmother, folks going through a divorce, dad loses his house, and he's got a big smile on his face and just keeps just loving everything to expression. And then you learned a lot of DE, but it sounds like you learned a whole lot from your grandmother. And that you know, apples don't fall far from the trees. You are a
That's very
blessing.
true.
Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you all. Really appreciate you
Everybody,
guys.
everybody have a great night. Love you, man.
Love you all.